Live video starting. What a fucking buzzkill.
Yeah.
I'm pretty buzzed.
All right, welcome back. So sorry if you're here joining us. Thank you so much. The downside of a live video and live feed is that sometimes you have issues, and sometimes it's on our side, sometimes it's on Facebook's side, sometimes who knows what it is. So if you're back, thank you. I'm going to take a quick moment to pause and share this video. I can't do two things at once.
Round 2, 100% blaming this on the absence of Nick Slocumb, our supposed man on the couch.
The ghost of Nick Slocumb.
The ghost of Nick
Yeah.
Slocumb.
We're being haunted by the ghost of Nick Slocumb.
I hope whatever you have to do today, Nick, goes well.
What a frightening little ghost that would be. Could you imagine?
You just see his little top knot, like little samurai top knot, like bobbing through like the shadows of your room. But it would be a friendly ghost because like he wouldn't do anything malicious. He would just snuggle you.
Yeah, that's a very Nick ghost thing to do.
Yeah. It'd be like Nick,
it wouldn't be
Nick the
malicious.
sweet ghost.
It would be salacious.
It would be salacious.
Super salacious.
Live
wow.
feed interrupted.
Do what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did we like lose something
We're
again?
at 32 frames per second. So.
Well, let's just keep rocking and
All
rolling.
right, bear with us, people.
Rocking and
Yeah.
rolling.
Maybe we should have gotten Modelo's on the way here.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the plan. Is
Should
the
have invited
Modelos.
those people to be on the couch.
Dude, yeah, you're
Did
right.
you say what kind of cigarettes they had?
I couldn't see. I just saw it in the hand, you know?
Pale males.
Pale.
I mean, it could have been something that was
that
like
what
shaped
it's
like
called?
that. I just assumed if you were buying...
Yeah, it's Pall Malls.
Pale male, man.
It's Pall Mall.
It's regional.
It's regional.
You know what I'm saying?
I was like, is this like one of those Berenstain Bears type things?
Right.
The Mandela effect?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just also assumed that like whatever they had in their hand was cigarettes because if you're buying beer at 7:49 in the morning, you're probably also buying cigarettes.
Gotta be.
It's just, I don't know what that's called when you just you come to that conclusion. Educated guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Hypotheses?
Guesstimate.
They work nights, people.
It worked night. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Happy Friday to y'all.
I'm excited to be here, despite the issues. I'm just going to turn my phone away so I can't see it saying
Yeah.
live stream interrupted.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it throws me off.
Fair.
All right.
Let's just have a great
Let's
hour.
just hang out. All right, let's go to NFT Bay Bay.
It's not NFT Bay Bay. It's NFT Bay. And I
Same.
just
Bay. What
Same.
up, Bay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Do y'all remember the Pirate Bay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Dave does. Like you two kind of just give me a look. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Pirate Bay for torrents.
Yeah, for
I was
torrents.
done downloading illegally by that point.
By that point,
I was making big man
By
money.
the time you found out about it,
I was making like $9
because
an hour.
I guarantee you that was going on well before you
Big
figured out how
boy
to
money.
torrent. But yeah, so it's an art project, you know, self-proclaimed art project. But there's this new website up called NFT Bay, and it's skinned just like the old Pirate Bay, and you can. And I hope this goes into another conversation about NFTs because do you know what NFTs are? Ish.
Loosely.
Exactly. So does everyone. I don't think anyone really knows what the hell they are, and that's why it's so interesting to talk about. So he makes this thing is skinned like Pirate Bay, but it's NFT Bay, and you can download all of these non-fungible token images.
So you're gonna have to pause and explain for anyone that's listening or watching, which is probably no one, because of
Okay.
what we're going through. But explain to people what an NFT is in your best map.
Okay, so an NFT is a non-fungible token, and
Those are the words. Now explain what it is.
Yeah, I don't like. It's basically you're spending money. You're buying basically an image, but the image is just like a JPEG hosted on like Web 2.0, like some server. But like really, all you own is not even the copyright to that image or that image itself because it's a digital image. You own part of a code.
Yeah, but it's on the blockchain. It's basically the equivalent of crypto. You're
Not
saying
even. Like I mean,
no, I'm not saying it's an even, but it's the equivalent in the art world, and I'm using air quotes.
Yeah.
You're the original owner of a piece of code.
yeah, and
Right.
it's not even like the image though. Like the image isn't stored on the blockchain. The code is stored on the blockchain.
Right. Well, but everything's code. We're in the matrix, buddy.
Yeah, so people are like basically being duped into thinking that they're owning unique ones and zeros, like parts of this code.
Well, they're not being duped. They are owning.
They do own it.
You you own but that's the thing though. It's like
Everything's
you
in
own
the
code.
blockchain. Everything is
you
recorded.
you don't own anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That-
But
I
that's
get
what I'm
what you're
saying.
saying,
Yeah,
but
like
you
Right,
do.
but it's recorded in the blockchain, so you see there's a history of everything, so you can see, okay, this person actually owns this piece of code.
I'm not. So I'm just gonna be like transparent right now. Like I'm not buying into the NFT hype. Like I think it's BS personally.
Well, I thought we had already passed the NFT hype anyway. Are we back in it?
Yeah,
It's-
it comes and it goes.
Right.
It does,
It's
but
anyway.
I don't think it's going away.
I don't think it's going away either. And,
Because I felt the same way about cryptocurrency when it first came out. I was
Yeah.
like, this is just a thing
Right.
that's going to be
Yeah.
here for a short amount of time because it's not real.
exactly. But in that same
Come
token,
to find
though,
out, it is.
but crypto and like say the U.S. dollar, like they both have value because everyone agrees that they have value. To me, NFT is crypto or actual money, just with extra steps.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? Like
no, I don't.
I just think it's anyway. I'm digressing there.
Well, what is the dollar anyway? It's no longer backed by silver.
Well, and I was
gold,
just fixing to
so-
say that, and what is crypto backed by?
Right.
Nothing, and that's what I'm saying. Like
Well,
I
right
think
now
those are
it's
the
nothing,
same.
but,
Zeros
but
and ones.
I've got a feeling that one day someone is actually going to. I think one of some nation is going to go. All right, we're backing this with our currency, or
Okay.
recognizing it as a backed currency. I think at some point, I think Ethereum is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be Bitcoin. I think it's going to be like Ethereum, or I mean, actually, that's not even true. Basically, the U.S. is already trying to do that with their own, like the U.S. dollar cryptocurrency, and I think that eventually, we're going to have digital wallets. Like if you have like an EBT card, it's just going to switch over to
Yeah.
this or Social Security, whatever it may be. It's going to switch over to that.
And so that kind of makes sense. I can wrap my mind around like currency moving that way to where it's not like tangible because the paper money isn't backed by silver or gold anymore, like you said, and like we just all say it has values. But I just think that the NFT is just like, and I'll get to what I really think it's about soon. But the NFT Bay is this art project this guy created, and it's to go back to that, and it looks like the old school Pirate Bay. If you've ever I know none of our listeners have because it's illegal, but if your illegal friends have ever downloaded torrents,
Illegal friends.
yeah, your friends that do illegal things have
Okay.
ever downloaded torrents, you'll know what the Pirate Bay is. So it looks like that, and you can go and like the guy's like, oh, you can download all of the NFT images. He's pirated all of the NFT images on the Ethereum and Solana blockchain servers, basically. But you can search individual images, and it all comes back to the one file. There's one master file that has all of the images, and it's 20 terabytes big. Like,
It's crazy.
yeah, he had problems finding servers to like host it.
Is that every NFT?
On the Ethereum and Solana blockchain? It is. It's every NFT image, and so it's like his art piece is like, yo, people are buying an NFT for money, and they're owning this code, and then it directs them to like a Google Drive to download the image, and he's just basically pirated all of the images into this 20 terabyte file, and it's called the $1 billion NFT. Because it's like all of them, and he's just pointing like, I like it, and I think it's funny because he's like bringing up this as a conversation point of like, what the hell is an NFT? I don't think, like, I've had people explain to me one of two ways.
So Leslie Hammond chimed in and said it's not crypto, and I just want to make clear, I'm not saying it's exactly the same as crypto, but it is managed, housed, and tracked the exact same way.
Yeah, you
all
own
through
a
the
code on the blockchain.
Yeah,
But it's just like, and that's the weird thing about it, because it's like, people are like, oh, you own this. And I'm like, you don't really own it. Like if you own a car, you have that tangible car. If you own a painting, you own that painting. But
Right.
like with this, it's just like the image that you're buying, like anyone can just download. Just like right click it and save it to your desktop.
To me, it's like most art, though. It's bragging rights.
Right.
Exactly. So
Strictly.
that's where I'm getting to it, though, is I truly think that it is coming about as it's a new way for the wealthy
The wealthy.
to spend their money and get it tied up in this for whatever tax dodging purposes or whatever, without actually having to buy art. And they're artificially driving that.
I've never believed that more than these past 2 years. And there's one particular artist, and I'm not going to even say the name, but I have high-profile family members, and they've just started selling art. And it's not bad. Like I look at it like, okay, that's appealing, but it's not like $50,000 to $500,000 worth of artwork, and I'm like, oh, this is literally just a way to launder money, or avoid tax loopholes, or inflate your wealth while also like, oh, okay, yeah, I bought it for $500,000. It's valued at $2 million now, and now I'm donating it, and it's like, oh, okay, so these are tax loopholes. Like, I've never believed that more. And Leslie, I'm sure, is going to have a lot to say on this.
Well, I hope so, because like I'm ignorant on this. Like, but what I've read and what I've found out is like to that topic is when I started reading about that, of like how like fine art can be used in that is like someone with money will like commission an artist to make paintings for make a painting for let's say $10,000,
right?
And then they bring that $10,000 commission painting to an appraiser who appraises it at $75,000.
Right.
In which case that painting now then gets donated to a museum or something else, and then it has that associated value of $75,000, and now you have this receipt being like, oh, I made a $75,000 charitable contribution, and it only cost you $10,000. So like it only I don't have the means to like do that because my taxes don't work like that.
That's not to say that the value in fine art isn't there.
No,
right?
there is value in fine art,
there's
but
value
I'm
in
just
fine
saying
art.
there's also it can get muddied, I think,
Right.
and there's value attributed to certain pieces that I don't think should be.
Right.
I don't think anyone is going to dispute the value of certain pieces that everyone knows about.
As a Basquiat owner, I think I can say this.
But
wow,
but not.
been waiting for this one.
But I think of people like Basquiat. And
Is that how you
Jay-Z.
pronounce the name?
Basquiat.
I never talk about him because I've never
know.
known how to pronounce the name.
I can pronounce it however I want because I own
I just skirt around that.
a fractional share of painting. But
How fractional?
I did the math. I can't remember now. It's like
64,000th.
No, it's not that bad. It is. I think it's in the thousandths.
63,000.
I think it's like
You own more
1/5,000.
than I do, though.
Yeah.
So there you
That's
go.
true.
I'll give
all
that
of
to
us.
you.
He owns more than all of us.
Combined, Jesse.
But
Correct. You don't know
yeah,
that
that's
life.
true.
Okay.
But I will say, I think about that where it's Jay-Z, and this is the chicken and the egg. Like, did Jay-Z see the value in his work and start rapping about him? Or did the value go up because Jay-Z liked him and started rapping about him?
Yeah.
Which one is it? Where's that value coming from?
That's a great question,
yeah.
too.
And again, he was already very highly valued
Right.
Yeah.
when Jay-Z started rapping about him, but it's gone up exponentially.
Yeah, I was going to say, he had a
Which
he had a
time
huge
does that
boom
too?
in auction price.
I think those kind of things it brings in a whole new crowd of people
Right.
that are going to be interested in
Yeah.
it, which is definitely going to inflate value on anything.
Yeah, and
look at sneakers.
So, and that's I
Right.
think that's kind of what's happening with these NFTs, though, is you have people that are actually using it as a way to tie up their money for tax purposes, you know what I'm saying? And also just because they can. And then you have all these other people that always want to, let's just call them like normal people.
Normies.
Working normal jobs that are trying to get on that same bandwagon, and they're buying these $60 NFTs and going, oh, I own 1/10,000th of this Disney NFT. And really you're just getting this code and you don't actually own anything. It's just
Right.
ones and
But
zeros, and you just download a JPEG.
But have you seen the NFT frames that they have now?
I have. Have you seen the price tag associated with them?
Of course, they're going to have a
Like the
hefty
smallest
price
one I found was like $777, which is a
Yeah.
weird price.
Yeah.
And then like the next one was like $999. I'm like, okay, y'all are just like arbitrarily making stuff up. You're just like 777, 999, whatever. But it's that, and that's what I don't get. Like, I think people are riding this hype train, and it's artificially inflating. Like,
Yeah,
they
welcome
are.
to the market in general.
Yeah.
So either, complain about it or figure out how to make some money off of it.
I'm not buying NFTs.
Get you one.
Well, don't buy one. Maybe just start making them then.
If I could figure that out, Justin, I would be making them. Okay, I'll be real with you.
How about this? Let's make a plan to make an Unwanted Opinions NFT.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll
Ooh.
launch it.
$1 million.
And guess what? I guarantee
It's the
there's
world's
a company
best.
out there.
Did you know that it's the world's best NFT? Is the Unwanted Opinions
Yeah,
NFT?
100%.
So
the
to
most
circle-
valuable.
Hey, so to circle back around to that, you asked, can you just make that claim? And there's fine lines of how you can make that claim. So you might be able to go world's best NFT, but you can't say something like best selling, or like there are metrics that you're not allowed to use without some kind of industry
that makes
standard.
sense though, because you can measure how much it has been sold.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, that's just one
But
example.
world's
too.
best is totally subjective.
So one of the products we sell at work is patches, and I think that we're one of the leading companies for sales in patches in the United States. But we can't say that without that actual metric. But to get that metric, you have to get all of the industry leaders
And they're not going to give you the
to
numbers.
agree to show their
Okay.
numbers. And so we can say what we think, industry leading, industry, best art. There's things that, like, there's subjective.
Best looking people
wording.
behind the phone.
No,
Whoa.
He's not
No.
talking about me.
Yeah, he is.
100% you. But anyway, there's certain metrics that you have to use to have those qualifiers. But you can say vague things.
World's sexiest NFT is the Unwanted Opinions one.
Absolutely. It is.
Yeah.
gonna be a
I think we should do
digital
it. And
image
I
of all
guarantee
of us
there's
together.
people that
In a
pay
hot tub.
Dudoir.
In a,
Dudoir,
with the green screen.
coined by Dave Miller himself.
Best new term ever. Love it.
But I guarantee there's places that you can pay to help you launch an NFT as well. Like, there's
yeah,
got to
yeah.
be a whole market for
Yeah,
I feel
everything.
like
there are
Teddy's
whole-
already doing it. I'm pretty sure Teddy has created his own. So
NFT?
that's who you need to approach. Yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely platforms that you can
Right, pay
launch
to launch.
NFTs.
Right.
So
Yeah,
So-
can you upload a JPEG to the internet? I think we're good then. And then you just make this code or whatever.
So you have to get accepted into the
Blockchain?
whatever they are.
I don't know,
yeah,
man.
into the
So you
platforms,
have to
into
find someone
the
who's already been accepted into the, because it's like an application process. You
Yeah.
not just anybody can go and upload.
I'm going to be real. Like, NFTs are dumb. And that's my ignorance.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
But it's just like, it's
But
one of
you
those
know what
things-
else is dumb? Stocks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
They're
Well,
super
I-
dumb.
I
But
thought
guess
it-
what? I buy and sell stocks because I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I'm
I
at
can make
least
money.
gonna-
I don't know what's going on,
I
but
think
I
it's
can make
stupid,
money.
but I'm going to make money on it.
NFT is just newfangled technology.
That's
That's
how
all
I
it
feel,
is.
Jesse.
Like,
It's
it's
newfangled
like-
technology. I'm like, I don't get this, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. I do love talking to people about it though, because I'm like I've had people trying to explain to me, and I get the two sides of the stories. I get one that they're just straight honking NFTs bobo. They're like, this is, you just don't get
What
it
does
because
that
you're.
mean?
Honkin' Bobo.
Yeah, they're like the nose?
Yes, they're like
Is that a
like
good thing or a bad thing if you're honking someone's nose?
in this the way I'm using it is like they're thinking they think it's good and they're trying to explain it like, no, this is the best thing ever, you know.
Yeah, but what's a bobo and how do you honk it?
You're digressing from my point of view. You're digressing. They tell me they're like, oh, this is, you just don't get it. This is the future. You know, it's the blockchain, and they use all these like buzzwords. And at the end of this conversation, I'm like, you just said nothing.
Do the
and
hand
then,
motion.
huh?
No, for honkin' Bobo.
No, it's not radio safe. And then I get the other ones that are just like that are more in line with what I feel, and they just go, they're just like, yeah, it's BS. It's blockchain people just buying these JPEGs and spending money, and it's just tied up.
Someone's
in the
gonna
web.
be left holding the bag, and that's
Yeah.
how it always is. I met this kid at the gym a couple months back, and he was like, he asked me about GameStop and AMC back when that was still kind of popping off, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm out. Yeah, that's a lot of like all my savings," and I was like, "Oh, like."
Jeez.
How much is that? Like, I think it was somewhere. I mean, he's a young kid. I think it was somewhere in like the range of like 8 or 10. I think it was around $8,000 that he said he lost.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I lost $8,000, and then it ended up bouncing back. But
Yeah.
he's out. He had sold whatever he had, and it's like, yeah, you know what? There's always a loser to the winner. Like, you can't have both. You can't always be winning, and that's, you think about like casinos, like.
Oh, the house always wins.
Right. There's
Like-
it's still going
Right.
because someone's
Right.
winning and it's not the average person.
Yeah.
And let's
You
not think that like what Citadel Capital and Robinhood are gonna be losing anything. Really.
Right.
I mean,
And
and whatever they do lose is just momentarily a loss, and will 100% make that back very quickly.
Right. And that's just like to relate it back to gambling. If you're playing poker and you have a large chip stack versus a small chip stack, like, don't get me wrong, that small chip stack could chip away at the big guy and eventually, do well. But mostly speaking, that big chip stack's just going to push you around until you're knocked out. Like, you just can't do it anymore. You don't have the capital to do that, and that's exactly what it is. And it's the same thing with NFTs. Like, yeah, some people are going to make good money on it, and you're going to see those stories on Instagram and TikTok, and like, see how I did it in 10 days. I flipped $400 to $40,000. It's like, cool. That's one person, right? And if you go in thinking that, you're going to end up, more likely than not, holding the bag at the end of the day with a lot of lost money because you didn't know what you were doing, or because the market just changed, right?
Yeah. I was Aaron just chimed in as you were saying that. Is like basically that same thing. You always hear the winners, not the losers.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's and I think that's why people jump on these bandwagons. Though, is like you said, you get those people on the TikTok or Instagram, like, and then now they're monetizing their wins by making tutorials and stuff like that, and everyone thinks that they can do it and they're savvy, and they're not, and then they lose their $8,000 savings. Unfortunately,
I love motivational speeches from athletes, but I realized that I didn't want to hear at all from the people. Like, if you're 6'9" playing basketball, I don't want to hear your motivational speech, right? Like,
I just stand below the rim and I just jump, Be
big. Like, I want to hear Muggsy Bogues. Like, I don't want to hear the people that are like, built for what they're doing.
Right, yeah.
I want to hear, all right, how did you overcome? How did you work? So, I want to hear from the guy that lost a ton of money. Like, all right, tell me your story. Let me see what not to do based off of what you did.
Yeah,
or,
for sure.
if you've lost and won again, lost and won again. I think there's this winner's bias that we're so used to. And people, are down on themselves because, like, well, there must be something wrong with me. Like, no, you're just not hearing from the multitude of people that are losing as well. And, I feel that way with social media, too. Sometimes I just want to, like, show, like, real life on my social media because I'll talk to someone and they're like, oh, I don't have the perfect life that you do, and I'm like, are you out of your freaking mind? Like,
I honestly
my
think
house is a mess. Like, my wife does a good job of me and my wife do a good job of trying to keep up with it, but we got 4 kids. Like, I'm tired often. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not the highlight reel that you see all the time. Life is real, and there's struggle that comes along with it. But, we see these things and we go, well, why don't I have that? This guy made $40,000 on NFTs. Why am I not doing that? Like, because that's not the norm, and that's okay.
I think that's a problem with like you said with social media is like with modern relationships though. Is like everyone gets to see, I don't know who said it. They're like, when you go online, you see the highlight reel, not the
I literally
blooper.
just said that.
Yeah.
It was me.
And you posted a highlight reel.
Yeah, and I posted a highlight reel.
Wait, you said that on Facebook recently?
No, I just 30 seconds before you said, someone said it's a highlight reel. I said you're seeing the highlight reel.
Wasn't listening.
We'll highlight that later.
Who knew?
It's Friday morning, man. I'm not even awake yet.
I get it.
NFT, babe.
NFT, babe. Yeah, but it's just like I think that's a problem, in affecting this society in modern, in our relationships totally, and it's the same with the money.
Yeah, anything in general, like it's probably not as pretty and clean as you think that it is. I love the Instagram versus reality post.
Oh, those are great.
Where it's like,
Yeah, Dave put up a good one the other day.
that one was funny.
was it intentional?
Yeah.
Okay. On your story? Oh yeah, you and Brooke.
Yeah.
That's like, to me, that's great.
Yeah.
Or like the people that do like fitness blogs or something like that.
Johnny.
And no, but they're like,
Does he have a blooper reel?
Yeah, I'm usually thinking like,
Yeah, it's just all his posts.
the people that are like, hey, this is me on the same exact day, like 30 seconds apart. Like, I've got, down lighting going here and the right angle, and then here's how I normally look.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, that's how it should be. Like, yeah, like, let's see a little bit more of the real life. I get it. That's not what we want to see all the time, but I think
It's screwing society up, though, man.
Yeah.
It really is, Because one of those people, like people forget though, like what they really have, and like what I think is important, and and they get so caught up in their flaws that they're going to, look at the grass is greener, and they're going to want to search something else out.
Grass is greener where you water it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that
is true.
That sounds so dumb, but like
No,
that is true
is.
though. Like, and if you're always like jumping though, it's like you're never going to have that nice green fertilized lawn though. You have to
genuinely
work for
believe
something.
that.
What a
I said
wild
it.
ride. We got here from NFTs.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, to relationship advice. Well, I mean, it's just like the NFTs are the same thing. Relationships are like money, like whether you're, like losing money or like losing friends. Like
Relationships are like cryptocurrency.
they are.
Well, let's marry them together, and I'm going to go into the metaverse.
Oh, please
Facebook's
don't.
going to be switching over, and people are like, oh yeah, that's. I've heard so many differing opinions.
I've seen the Matrix hard pass.
a hard pass, but we're already in it.
Yeah.
People are already often more times they're you see them at dinner. They're on their phone instead of with the people that they're with.
That's because they're looking at that green grass.
Right? No, or
They're like, what else is
they're
out there?
living a life that isn't the one directly in front of them.
Yeah.
It's already happening.
And what if you could learn Kung Fu in 3 minutes?
No, but I mean that would be
dope.
amazing if it would actually do that. That would be awesome. But
You just know
generally
Kung Fu
speaking-
in the fake world, not the real world.
Right, but people don't care because you see it. Every picture that is put out is filtered.
Yeah.
We're already living a life that we're not actually living.
Yep.
And so I don't think people are like, oh yeah, that's coming. Like, no, it's here.
Well, yeah, I mean,
We're
I can't
already doing
skate, but
it.
I'll rip you apart at Tony Hawk.
Yeah, right.
So that's like Kung Fu in the Matrix.
Right,
then,
right,
You can't
right,
skate in
that's-
real
Or
life.
Or
you
it's
can't
like
Kung Fu in real
basketball for
life.
my son. Now, granted, he's picked up the basketball and started playing better, but we got a hoop and all that because he's like, yeah, I want to play basketball because he loved playing it on video games.
Yeah.
And he was like,
I'm not instantly good.
I can make that shot in 2K. And I'm like, bro, you got to understand how crazy that sounds. Like, you're in the real life now. And so he kind of just was like, well, I didn't want to play basketball for a little bit. He just want to play in the video games because why wouldn't you?
Right.
You're better there. It takes less effort.
Yeah, I can dunk in the game.
Right.
You can't dunk in real life?
Maybe I'm like a 7-foot
sweet.
rim.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we're already in the metaverse. I think so many people have already chosen to.
It's like worse. I don't know. Maybe this transition metaverse is worse because like in the real metaverse, at least like you're. I don't know if it's like the Matrix. At least you really can do kung fu, and like no one knows that you're in it. And like now, it's just like you're like actually living in the real world, trying to like live in this fake world.
But I think we're already transitioned into that anyway.
How do we get away from that though?
I don't think that we do. I don't think it's a thing that we're going to get away from.
I don't think it's going to be good for humanity though.
Keanu Reeves.
I'm not saying, I'm not saying that
Neo.
it is, but so think about watching that movie. If we're going to keep going back to Matrix references, think about it. Which would you prefer? The freaking crap shoot world that he's actually in, or what's the dude that
Who
was
made
like,
that crap shoot
you know what?
world? That's what I'm saying though. Is like we can like the machines didn't make themselves.
Right.
They let it get to the the humans
But-
let
but
it get
hold
to
on,
that
pause,
level. That's why I'm
pause.
saying like do we either create the world where the cyber world is better than
But
existence
let's
or
not
we
go that far
stop
yet.
that from happening.
Right, but let's not go that far yet. Let's say that we're already there, and I want to know your answer. Do you choose to live in the crap world that he's in, or do you choose what the other guy does? Like, I want a steak dinner every night. I want a nice home.
And a cool Nokia
Right.
phone.
Because he's like, I don't care. I'd rather, we're already in it, so I'd rather that. Which would you choose? I think most people would choose.
Staying in the Matrix for
right.
sure.
And so we're already, we've been in the Matrix and we don't even know it because we're already living a life that we're not actually living in most cases. We're posting the highlight reels. We're filtering our faces. Like, we get to be someone, and I'm a prime example of it. People have some opinion of me that is probably not correct, whether it's good, bad, or other.
I think they're pretty close.
I think some people.
By the collective laughter, I'm going to say.
I think some people. But I think that there are people that have an opinion of me based off of
What they
status
see
updates,
online, yeah.
right, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I'm not nearly as fun as people think that I am most times.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah, that is true.
These guys will definitely attest to it. But there are people that I meet, and I feel like they're like, "Hey, man, do something, do one of your things." Do something
Dance,
funny.
monkey.
And this has been our life for years.
Yeah,
They're
One
like,
of your things. That's what I'm confused about.
It's just you
What are
get
gonna-
like people,
what are
but
you
people
gonna
see
give
that
them
and they
back? Yeah.
expect. They're like, oh, okay, and they expect like, oh, building jumping and like almost getting arrested and like bar fights and like just craziness.
Right.
Like that happens, and then it's just like something happens, like low key, and it's just like people would get disappointed.
yeah, like, are
They're
you mad?
oh,
Are you
okay.
upset? Are you okay? Like, yeah, we're just
So
chilling,
what
man.
can we expect for Light Up Ocala?
Oh, light up Ocala. We're on our best behavior for light up
Yeah,
Ocala.
we have to be
Thank
contractually.
you for that.
I
I need to shift away from it.
Shift away from the metaverse.
yeah.
I was about to go even deeper into that.
Yeah,
one.
we know. Like it was,
Okay.
it was a rabbit hole.
You don't like a
waiting to
good
happen.
conspiracy theory, huh?
I mean, it's whatever.
So light up Ocala. It looks like should be
This Saturday.
Well, it doesn't look like it should be.
Yeah.
It will be this Saturday, but it looks like it's going to be pretty good weather, a little windy,
High in like low 70s, I think.
and we actually don't have a ton of time on stage. Thank goodness. Because you see what happens when we get a little bit too
We're
much
not
time
the
on.
entertainers.
Yes.
We're just the MCs, though. Like all you have
Right.
to do is like
Thank God.
right?
Y'all
Transition.
Not very entertaining. It's gonna be lit though.
It is literally and figuratively going to be lit.
Yeah.
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 You're just mad because you're not flipping a switch.
I gotta see how Bro, I gotta see how big this kid is this
Make
year.
me don't, bro.
Jesse's gonna bolt onto the stage, run by, smack the switch up, and run off.
Bolt is that's all that.
Okay, he's gonna slowly meander up there with enough time to for security to intercept him. Wearing your white shoes again, you need to know better.
Church shoes.
Yeah, I gotta see how big that kid is that I gotta lift up because
You don't gotta lift him,
Matt.
buddy.
You don't have to lift them.
you don't have to
That
lift
light
him.
switch is like 5 feet off the ground.
Please
don't get a kid to
Please lift Matt up.
Yeah,
Leave the kids alone. Just pick Matt up to do it.
yeah. Go back and
Like-
look at the pictures. That light switch is pretty far off the ground. But I'm telling you, that kid was a
There's two of them.
yeah. But the one kid was straight
I
up
was like, oh, he's going for it. Okay.
concrete bags.
Like, yeah, he graduates next year.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What
so-
an honor to light the switch.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's the Wells family. I don't know who it is. I just know it's the Wells family.
Yep.
Always an exciting event. I love it. I've loved it since I was a kid. We used to walk down there. I think I may have told this story in years past, but my dad would always, every time we would go down to light up Ocala, he'd buy these like chocolate dipped bananas, like frozen chocolate dipped bananas.
From where?
One of the like, you know,
Chocolate dip frozen banana stands?
yeah. And so one year for Christmas, like, 8 or 10 years ago, I found this place selling these like, frozen chocolate dipped bananas. And I like shipped them in, paid all this money, and I, had it ready for Christmas morning or his birthday, whatever it is, which is close to Christmas. And he opens it up and he's like, "What the heck is this?" I was like, "It's
You love these.
frozen
Dad, you love
chocolate
these.
bananas." He's like,
Tear rolls down his eye.
okay. He's like, "Oh, all right, thank you." And I was like, yeah, but you love these. And he's like, "I don't think so." I was like, I have this whole memory, like years.
I bought
worth
these
of
once when I was
memories.
drunk.
Yeah, basically. He's like, "Okay, yeah, whatever you say, dude." They probably
Glad to
sat in
see
the
you're
freezer
still a
for
dumb
years.
kid.
Right.
Wild Bill is nothing like that.
Yeah, he's
people.
like,
He's the same.
things change, dude. Get over it. All right.
Oh, wow.
So now my favorite memory of Light Up Ocala is my
Disappointing your
yeah,
father.
it's-
Well, you get the chance to do it again this year.
yeah, there's still time. Oh,
No,
so
it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
starts at 4.
I think so, like 4 to 9, I believe.
Yeah, I know.
Lighting is around the time that it gets dark.
So
Yeah.
5:30.
About
I think like 6, actually.
it's
I think it's like right at 6
6
is,
to 6:30.
is when they're going to flip the switch.
Speaking of dark, I got up last night
Samesies.
about 3:30. Oh, you went out there?
I got up twice.
So in case
actually.
you weren't aware,
Baby bladder.
the Beaver Moon, which I literally, just the name alone, I couldn't even, you could have told me it's not a lunar eclipse and just said the
Shortened to
Beaver Moon.
BM.
Shortened to BM. The Beaver Moon lunar eclipse was last night, so I got up at 3:30 to check it out, and it wasn't until right about 4:02, which is when like the peak of eclipse in color was supposed to happen, that the actual cloud coverage moved away.
I
so
didn't see
actually it.
diddly.
Oh, really?
No, yeah. So I set an alarm and
I
I
stayed
told
up.
Lauren, and she likes, astronomy or astrology. I can't remember which one's fake, which one's real. Astronomy
both
or
fake.
astrology. I don't even want to
mean,
say it
we
the
Just
wrong way.
realized nothing
Yeah,
is
you-
real.
And just-
NFTs.
We
no,
are
the
in the
metaverse.
Matrix.
But you know what I'm saying with
Yeah.
astronomy and astrology? It's just like you say the one like, oh, I really like astrology, and people are like, this idiot believes in star signs. You're like, no, I meant like I like planets and like space and stuff. Like it's like they're two vastly different.
Astrology is the star signs.
So
Astronomy.
that's the fake one. Got it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I told her, and I'm like, yo, it's just like
That's
it's
an
just
unwanted
it's
opinion to some people.
lunar eclipse, and I was just like, I got this alarm set, and she gave me a death stare. And she goes, if your alarm goes off at 4:00 in the morning, and she's like, I'm gonna be so mad because my wife's very pregnant right now and she's having trouble sleeping. So she was like, you better sleep on the couch if you have an alarm set.
Right.
So I just drank as much water as I could.
So you
turned
just
my
wake
alarm
up,
off,
yeah.
and I just crossed my fingers and go, I hope my bladder wakes me up at the right time. So I woke up at like 1:30, which was like the beginning of it, and I go outside and it is cloudy. Go back.
Cloudy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's clouds.
So I repeated the process and woke back up at 4:03 or right around 4:00, and it was also cloudy and I couldn't see it. Like, yeah, I could see the moon behind the clouds a little bit, but it was just like this weirdness. I just kind of was like, I think it's in that position, but
Yeah.
all in all, like my experience was not.
Oh,
as
by
good,
the way, the moon
so-
was nowhere near where I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's crazy how it moves so much over the night.
Yeah.
Really.
I was like,
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
I'm looking straight up in the air,
What a
like,
wild
no,
concept.
clouds are here. And then when they finally cleared, I was like, oh, it is way
Yeah.
over there. It was not at all where I thought it was going to be, which is probably the case for you, too.
Yeah. Well, I was,
So you didn't see it at all?
No.
Oh, I woke up,
No.
stayed up, got to see it. Stayed outside for a little while. The dog was freaking out about every little thing that was moving.
That's because it's like, I don't know, haunted or something when lunar eclipses happen. I don't know.
My
Ghosts
dog
come
is
out.
haunted when lunar
Beaver-
eclipse happen?
Just during the Beaver moon.
Huh?
Just only during the Beaver.
Only during the Beaver moon.
The Justin Bieber.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm sure there's people out there that believe like, oh, it's a Beaver moon. Spirits align with whatever. You know.
Yep.
Why are you attacking the spiritual people this morning?
You are. Yeah, you are.
You're going hard.
Oh wow. I'm sorry, spiritual people.
Did not sound like an actual apology.
Yeah, because it's not.
Slightly condescending.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw the moon at like 9:30 last night, and it did look cool because it was like high in the sky, and it had like a rainbow halo around it, like, and it did look really cool with the.
So
clouds.
like a butterfly?
A butterfly high in the sky.
Wow. I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book.
Anyway, we had a spelling bee. Congrats to Megan Whitaker for winning the spelling bee
Yeah.
with Superseded.
Supersede.
Supersede was
Beat out
Supersede.
Mark Anderson, who couldn't spell.
Thuid.
What a dumb. Thuid.
A river
To
runs.
be real.
Which is just Mike Tyson saying fluid.
y'all said that word out loud on the microphone. I'm like, are they for real right now?
Yeah, a river runs through it. You know what I'm saying?
You gave him one word. He cracked me up because I don't know what it was, but I guess he didn't hear that it was like, I'm just going to say hype versus hyped.
Oh, it was hackneyed.
Oh, hackneyed, yeah.
Yeah.
So he heard what I heard, which was hackney.
Yeah.
And so he spells hackney, and I think it was you, like hackneyed, and he just goes ED and walks off. He got that little ED at the end.
Nailed
there.
it.
Yeah,
So Mark
that was fun.
Anderson, first runner-up. Good job.
Came
got
in there
close.
looking like the Unabomber.
Yeah, Thuid. Yeah, he did. Thuid is a weird one for sure.
It means resembling a wolf.
Pretty much. You got the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to figure out I don't know when someone's ever going to use that word.
He couldn't have got a better word.
Especially the way he looked that night.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just one of those ones. Like with other words, it's like you've heard them before, so at least you have like a chance in hell of spelling them correct. I've been quizzing people on that, and everyone spells it like fluid with a th. They're like,
You've heard lucubration before?
yeah,
Bro, I thought you
lubrication.
said
That's what you
lubrication
use.
about 10 times.
Well, so
Personal
when we were going
lucubration.
when we were going over the words list, I was like, "Hey, you spelled lubrication wrong." He's like, "No, it's lucubration." I was
That's
like,
funny.
"That's made up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went and looked up. I was like, "Okay."
So you guys also said that 9 different ways when you were saying the word, and I think people thought I was kidding when I genuinely could not hear.
Yeah.
Because the speakers are facing out, we're on stage,
Yeah.
and then people are yelling too, and
Ross.
so they're like,
It's a rowdy crowd.
well, which is fun,
Yeah.
But I genuinely couldn't hear, so I'm like, no, can you say it again? And then again, people are like, oh, I'm like,
Just like that.
silence, please, one moment, hands up, so I can actually hear what they're saying. So I think you guys talked about it, and next year it'll be maybe a little bit more random word drawing.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about it yesterday. It's definitely got to get more structured.
As far as first runs go,
Yeah, it was like herding
amazing.
cats there. You got a lot of drunk people in a bar who are excited to spell words. So, I mean, y'all did a great job. It was
and
so
that's
much
all,
fun.
That's all we wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Raise some good money for the literacy council. So, yeah,
I think that like the charity it went to, the Literacy Council, that helps adults obtain their GED and learn to read, and when English isn't their second language, become better English speakers. I thought like to pair that with an adult spelling bee was
a no-brainer.
I thought it was great.
Right?
Yeah,
Who
no, it
else
was
are we
amazing.
gonna deal with?
It was
Who else
amazing.
would we work with on that? So yeah,
So you want to go for more structure next year?
Yeah, I want to do more structure. Definitely got to do like time limits for contestants,
Right.
just to speed up the process, and then definitely break down definitions, sentences, do those things. Like really just prepare people for it and all that. Good.
Tyler Register must have been to a spelling bee or watched spelling bees, because as soon as it
Probably
started,
secretly enters them.
probably
Yeah.
as soon as it started, he goes, "Can you ask country of origin and to use it in a sentence?" And I'm like, "Oh, wow, that seems very professional." And then it just
Well-
realized that that's what they typically do. Those
Yeah,
little brainy
because it
kids.
helps you break down the etymology of the word. Like, oh, okay, cool. If I know where this is coming from,
What?
Nothing.
You about to say spell it?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then define it.
Okay.
You don't have to.
ETYMOLOGY. I don't
No,
know.
you're wrong.
Uh,
Get out
I
of
think
here.
it's got a P.
Anyway,
You can't
the
buy your way
breakdown
out of
of where
this
the
one.
word's from, and because if it's a Latin word, it's going to be like LA something.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Li.
If it wasn't apart from a Latin word, what else? What would be another example of like a root?
Greek.
Greek, yeah. There were
Usually Latin or Greek are like the
only two that. You
the two main ones.
I'm literally trying to think of a third one though.
Australian.
I don't know about that.
Be English. Anyway, Germanic languages, you're going to have some of those as well. Yeah. But anyway, I think it certainly helps. I like the idea of randomizing because every time I got off stage, granted, I did get a few easy words.
Yeah.
But so every time I got off, people were like, "Oh, they're just giving you the softballs." I'm like, "I'm not choosing them. Stop being mad at me."
Right. Yeah. Well, and it needs to get progressively harder.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like that concept too. Like, all right, we've got however many. The hard part is how are you going to know?
Just have three hats to choose from.
Right. But like, you're going to run out of words potentially.
Well, if we make if we have a words list for every round.
Yeah.
And then we can just be like, all right, we're done with this one.
Yeah.
Move on to round 2. We have 300 words to choose from.
I was expecting a lot softer, easier words.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting some real softballs.
I was honestly shocked after looking at the list and then at the end because we had 3 words left.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize we went through so many words.
So I was like, man, like you guys are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because half of these words I can't say.
Yeah, I learned something that night because there's some words I've never even heard before.
Yeah. Well, Will, he's highly educated.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or not.
I'm making a serious face, guys. Like this. Is not
I'm making a serious face, guys. Doesn't like help the cause at all. I actually think you're joking even more now.
Are you making fun of him or are you being nice to him?
No, he is. He's highly educated.
Well, good.
So you probably wouldn't guess it, but I'm just saying.
I would guess it.
Would you?
I mean, but I also guessed that he was bald, and he's very much not bald.
Fair, that's fair.
It's like, there's just not many guys our age. Well, I'm not going to go give that secret away. Anyway.
I mean, that's fine.
There's not many guys our age that wear hats all the time, and then they take them off and have like a full head of hair too now.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's called hat fishing.
We're going to end this podcast right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
in a fire.
Speaking
building.
Flip this whole table.
Building in downtown Ocala.
Speaking of which, someone hit me with the qualifier little the other day, and it's always such an insulting thing. I've talked about it before. Like, oh yeah, listen to your little podcast, and I'm like, pause. I learned this from
number one.
That is a professional
Central Florida
crap talker right there.
Yeah,
they don't need to say anything mean. They just say little.
I learned this from Kelsey Holder the other night. I could not believe this. She cracked me up. Someone said something that she didn't like, and she just stopped and just straight stared at them and said, "Are you going to correct that?" And I was like, "Dude." So I hit him with that. I was like, "Are you going to correct that?" What? I'm like, why would you say little podcast? Like, you know what? It is little, but it's big in heart. Okay,
Absolutely.
But you're just immediately being disrespectful. Like, there's no like, oh, because it's like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Like, how did you mean it?
Right, like cool.
Can you explain?
Cool little car.
Right. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of that too, actually.
I'd say that comes with the territory of driving a Corolla.
Yeah,
that's
the
cute.
Corolla.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, are you going to correct that? And so they backtracked, of course, like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Like, okay, how did you mean it? Like, I'm going to make it awkward at this point, like you just did. So I'm going to amp it up too. So to give them credit, they finally did like, oh, no, I actually enjoyed it. And they actually like gave a few excerpts from and I'm like, hey, you listen to more than I would, so thanks.
Fair, yeah.
So I'm glad we got past that little hurdle, but yeah.
So maybe they just weren't being a jerk and you were being the jerk.
No, they genuinely,
okay.
it was, and either way, they need to know, like, hey, that's what you're saying it in an offensive way.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they didn't know. I'll give them that benefit of the doubt. Maybe they didn't know. But, yeah,
they know
Kelsey
now.
Hitting them with the, are you going to correct yourself?
That's a great maneuver.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that one.
It was
We all
solid.
are.
So
I think so.
Thanks, Kelsey.
So speaking of also people using things like little, feelings of adequacy being fulfilled by stupid things like being able to write cursive or drive a manual vehicle.
Wait, I hope you haven't come into someone in like personal contact with someone recently who has talked about being able to write in cursive.
I think that people that lack, maybe not lack personalities, but lack the ability to talk, maybe like find small talk. I don't know. People lack personality. I think that they just immediately go toward like, well, these kids can't, write in cursive. Like, okay, can you open a PDF? Like,
do you know what an NFT is?
Right. Like, can you write in chalk and slate? Like, probably not. Like, things change. It's okay.
Can you write in cursive and drive a manual?
Yeah. And I get it. Like, I think that you should know how to drive a manual, but it also like I'm not like, wow, I can drive a manual. These idiot kids can't. Like
That's like someone being like, "Oh, you can't even drive a horse and buggy driving around in your
Exactly.
Model A." And it's just like
exactly
manuals
it.
still exist, but it's like manuals were more prevalent back in like the 90s than they are right now. Like with the way transmissions and technology go, it's just
Right.
like manuals aren't going to be around for much longer outside of like racing applications. Even then, like the automatic's going to be faster.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like
It's-
technology is going to surpass man.
But some of the cars that we've driven, like doing reviews
Yeah.
for, I was like, man, it'd be nice to have this in a 5 or 6 speed. And the guy's like, why? He's like, you can't
Right.
shift as good as
You-
this.
Yeah,
does.
you
no
can't.
way you can.
The only
like-
thing that they're going to be around for is novelty because they are fun to drive, but it's just like they're fun to drive. But there's times like when you're sitting in traffic, you're like, man, I wish I didn't have a manual right
Yeah.
now. My clutch foot hurts, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Jeep life.
but
Jeep life.
yeah.
Yeah.
In a Jeep application, it makes sense though. Off-roading,
Right,
having a
right.
manual is extremely desirable because you can keep it in that low gear. But I also see that.
It's not even low gear. It's rocking yourself out of like tight spots.
Oh, that too. But
Yeah.
you know, it has its applications.
Yeah, to me, it's just like, why get so upset over it, and why? Again, you get that feeling of like
Because they don't even make an attempt. Because they don't even make an attempt to develop a personality.
Yeah, I think that's mostly.
They've just given up and they're like, this is.
We're in our
I can write cursive and drive a manual and therefore
right
better than you.
better. Yeah, don't know what an NFT is.
I can write cursive too. I just forgot how to write half the letters.
Oh.
Like show me how to make an F.
So
You can't.
write
I have to. Yeah.
Shut up. I guess you're right.
So that's why. Now we know why you're so offended by the people that say that. I actually.
Look at his handwriting.
Yeah.
It got worse.
I guess started off okay with the first two.
and then it just devolved.
I got in high school I was so bad I switching between capital letters, lowercase letters, and cursive that I finally just like, all right, I've just got to write in all caps because otherwise, yeah.
I write in a mix of like upper and lowercase.
Well, I write
too.
if I'm not right, yeah, I have to like consciously just go. I'm just going to do all caps because that's the most natural for me. Because otherwise, it's literally a mix of all three.
Yeah.
And people are like, did a serial killer write this?
Yeah, they all the same size.
Yeah.
Like literally all caps.
Well, I'll do like with my last name. You know, I do a tall M and a tall D.
Okay.
So they're a little bit bigger, but it's still all caps.
That's short for those of you who don't know his last name. Mad Dog.
Yeah. That's my legal name. Yeah, otherwise it just looks awful. And then, you know, I mix words up too. And so then I got like erased and they're like, oh, this guy's an actual maniac.
What do you mean mix words up? Like you
guy
mash them together?
Well, I like flip letters around and stuff.
Do you have
So-
dyslexia?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Well,
like
that's not a laughing matter.
yeah, I mean to me it is.
Okay.
You can't laugh at it. I'm allowed to laugh at it.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Like if you have the disability, it's fair game
no,
for you.
absolutely. That's why I wipe the smile
I
off
don't
my
even
face.
tell people that. Yeah, I don't even tell
Very
people.
respectful.
Because I think that there are people that actually genuinely deal with and struggle with it, where I don't. I see like the letters are backwards sometimes, but
Maybe you're just dumb and you don't have dyslexia.
yeah, I think
Have you ever
that's
thought about that?
Actually,
Like,
that's
No, I
like
think
you
about
don't
that a
actually
lot.
have that. You just can't read.
yeah, I often think that.
I have a place you can go.
Don't make
Absolutely.
jokes.
Huh?
Don't make jokes. They do a great job. Did we time out?
2 minutes.
No, that's my social media time.
Oh,
to
that's
tell me
your
I'm
social
done for the day.
All right.
Done, dog. And then you just said, "Give me more time." I'm like,
I have to on Fridays. I have to on Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It twisted my arm. Yeah.
It's a good limit. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've even lost track of what we were saying.
Yep. NFTs, baby.
Your shared notes. You got your last one. The last note is the shared
Yeah.
note.
so-
You got 1 minute.
I done blew this man's mind last
He texted
night.
me last night. He goes, "You and I edited notes for the show at the same time," and I'm like completely confused. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, how do you know I'm editing notes? And last time I edited a note was at like 5 o'clock at work time. Like, and you texted me at like 9 o'clock, right? And he's just like, "Because I see it, because it's a shared note." And I'm like, "The hell are you talking about? Why are you in my phone?" And he goes, "It's a shared note." So I go to my notes and I realize it's a shared note with all of us. That I've just been like erasing and typing my notes in. And he's like, "Yeah, this is visible to everybody who it's shared with." And I'm like, I had no clue. I've just been using this as like a personal notepad.
He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry because I've deleted notes." I was like, "Yeah, I noticed that a while
yeah,
ago."
I was like, I didn't even look. I just go in there and I'm like, oh, these are my old notes, and I just like highlighted and deleted all of them out
How are
and
you-
just typed in my new notes.
Like,
and
how
so,
are you this bad at the internet, man?
because Because I have to regain my humanity so I don't go down that slippery slope and fall into the matrix like y'all are.
Yeah,
Plug
so he
in.
says.
I'm not plugging in.
He's
Learn
just
that kung
dumb.
fu,
Is-
man.
yeah.
Yeah, so I learned it was a shared note. So sorry for deleting you guys' notes if you had some in there.
I told him
Sorry
he was
for you.
cracking the eggs of
We've
notes.
had like 15 people stay with us this whole time, even though it's been interrupting.
You guys that have stayed with us with the choppiness, I'm genuinely appreciative. For anyone that actually downloads the podcast, I
Makes
get to
sense
see.
of it.
Yeah, I get to see the downloads. We're over 150 downloads right now, which is really cool.
Nice.
Something I wouldn't have expected. For the people that stop us on the streets or send messages, I genuinely am very, very appreciative. I expect that no one's going to watch or listen, so when you guys do and join along, it means the world to me, truly. So
Yeah, and holler at us if you think you might want to be a person on the couch.
And
We'll,
one that'll
we'll say
actually
no
show up.
yeah.
Nick.
because Nick has burned us and ruined it.
So thanks for joining us today, even with the craziness. We hope you have a great weekend and hope to see you at Light Up Ocala tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.